talk to you and ask you how you feel. I hope you don't mind my company. I'm lonely as can be. So if you ever really need a friend, I'll be right here if you please. I'll pass by every now and then. I'll check up on your knees. Leave it tonight, everything will be right. You and me in paradise. Still of the night, star shining bright. All I wanna do is hold your hand. Leave it tonight, everything will be right. You and me in paradise. Still of the night, star shining bright. All I wanna do is hold your hand. Leave it tonight, everything will be right. You and me in paradise. We know one another. All we want is love and unity, to care and protect our children that we want. Hey. Some of them are youths and them not live right. Right up themselves in a big man's sight. Them no know daytime different from night. Walk around every day with a big bag of hype. Pure hype, big bag of hype. Hey, hey. When me talk to them say respect you. But them no have none for me and you. Hotting up the place cause it's pure curfew. Make the Babylon them a pressure me and you. And them a pressure me and you. Hey. I wanna know what happened to the good old days. When we used to listen to what our parents said. Throw away the madness where must the children play. Say if we throw away the gun and throw away the knife, and let's give thanks for a brighter day. Some of them are youths and them just too bright. Shoot John Doe in a broad daylight. Fight over ends and a look fair strike. I want this their father me a witness tonight. I'm me a witness tonight. Hey. When me talk to them say respect you. But them not have none for me and you. Hotting up the place cause it's pure curfew. Make the Babylon them a pressure me and you. Them a pressure me and you. Hey. Oh well, pressuring me and you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey. I wanna know what happened to the good gigs every day. Listen to your parents and what they have to say. Pray a prayer every day, keep Satan away. That's what your mama and papa would say. Take it easy, youth man, and do the things that's right. Take it easy, youth man. Nobody boast no shot in the sky, yeah. Take it easy, yeah, and do the things that's right. Be an example to your little brethren that down the lane, and show them the things that's right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my Lord, I want this man witness tonight, dear Father. Now the youths have gone astray, gone astray. Talking.
Now hear this.
I've never been so much in love before. What a difference a true love.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Good afternoon to all my listeners and viewers. Yes, welcome to Rebel Radio. Today is Wednesday, and remember, at 5 we have your program, Eyes on the World. But we are going to kick off this afternoon program by looking at the Middle East, the Palestinian issue. Yes. Last week, the Palestinian activists in Barbados, they filed a lawsuit against Israel. And the CARICOM conference is due to be held in Montego Bay between the 2nd and the 8th for 2 days. And the Palestinian community are planning to stage a peaceful demo, calling on the heads of government in the Caribbean to sever links with Israel. We cannot continue to maintain relationship with a country that is killing so many human beings. All right, we have with us this evening two of our outspoken citizens. Yes. We have Dr. Carl Young, and we have Suleiman Bulliman out of Barbados. Gentlemen, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Okay, and let us start the discussion with going over to Brother Suleiman. So they explain to my listeners that lawsuit that was filed last week, Brother Suleiman.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to your listeners and to everyone there in Jamaica. It's a pleasure to be on your program. We are very grateful for the opportunity to discuss this very important topic of Palestine and what's happening. We in Barbados have been actively advocating for the Palestinian people for over 10 years. Our organization is 10 plus years, the Caribbean Against Apartheid in Palestine. Within the last 2 years, as you have seen, Israel has done a significant amount of damage, destruction, and has carried out the genocide against the Palestinian people, especially in the Gaza Strip. We in Barbados, from the Caribbean Against Apartheid in Palestine, we have been advocating, we have been rallying, we have been protesting, and we were looking at various ways in which we can continue to advocate for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. This is a humanity cause, and we want to continue to advocate. What we did last week was through the Caribbean Integration for Caribbean Integration for Peace, we lodged in the Supreme Court of Barbados, an application to declare that Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people, to declare that Israel is a genocidal state, to declare that Israel is committing crimes against humanity, and to declare that Israel is an apartheid state. We have made that application to the Supreme Court in Barbados. We have also made an application to the court that for immigration, should any IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces soldiers, or anyone associated with the genocide in Palestine, should they attempt to enter Barbados, they should be promptly sent back and not allowed to be in Barbados. We have put that before the courts of Barbados to have that declared. If that case is expected now to be heard on July 2nd, we're hoping that we will have that hearing done and that we get favor. If that is done and we get favor in the court, it will hopefully push our government here and governments in the region to sever ties with the state of Israel. They continue to have the relationship with that genocidal Zionist state of Israel, even though Belize since November in 2023, sought to suspend ties. They suspended ties. They were in the forefront, but our countries still have ties with the state of Israel, even though our Prime Minister here, Mia Mottley, has called what is happening in Gaza a genocide, a televised genocide. Many of the leaders in the region have spoken against what is happening there. So I am happy to hear that you also will be in Jamaica protesting peacefully at the CARICOM heads of government for CARICOM countries to sever or suspend ties with the state of Israel. But that is what is happening here in terms of the court. We will be going to court on the 2nd of July. We have been given a date so that the hearing can be done into our application for these declarations.
Right. No, if the court, in other words, explain, what are your expectations from this lawsuit?
We're expecting that if the court upholds our application, it would declare that Israel is committing genocide one. It would declare that Israel is a genocidal state. It would declare that Israel is an apartheid state, and it would declare that Israel is committing war crimes. Now, all our countries, most of the countries, if not all of CARICOM countries, including Barbados, are signatory to international treaties, human rights obligations, and so on. So it is questionable as to how we can be signatories to these international laws and treaties and obligations, but still maintain ties with the state of Israel, who have broken every one of these international laws and treaties and obligations. So we are hoping that through the court, that uphold our declarations, that will then send a message to the government of Barbados to recognize these treaties and to sever ties and to go further in terms of speaking out against what is happening.
Okay, yes. Dr. Young, what is your take on the current situation, Dr. Young?
Well, it's a lot of different ways to look at this. From my perspective as an African person, African-derived person, we, the people on the continent and on the diaspora, have owe a debt to the people of Palestine, who have always stood with us in our struggle. When the state of Israel supported the apartheid regime in South Africa to the point of giving them nuclear weapons to murder us, and when the people in the West that many look up to then and still do, people like Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, were demonizing Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress. It was Yasser Arafat and the PLO that stood with us in our struggle then. But even if that was not the case, the fact remains that all decent people should look at what's happening in Gaza and be horrified that a people who claim to have survived the Holocaust would knowingly and consciously bring that kind of horror to other people based on what is essentially a silly justification. So that's my take on that.
Yes. And, one of the things that we at Rebel Radio, we have been saying that the response from our Caribbean leaders has been lukewarm. What do you, how do you measure, what do you think of the response from our Caribbean leaders to this genocide?
Well, you look at the fact that many Caribbean governments are using Israel's technology. I mean, recently the JCF had an expo, and they showcased many of the the tools that they have, and many of these tools are directly tools that the genocidal state of Israel either gave, I suspect that, well, I don't know, or sold to Jamaica. So there's an incestuous relationship, I think, and a terrible relationship between us and Israel. Many of their activists are here. They own businesses. They violate African Jamaicans on the most egregious and horrible levels. Still, as we speak, I could give examples, but I won't, at least not now. So, you know, our people feel as if they are not able to speak freely. Any of us that stands up and speaks truth to their power will be punished for it. And so we must understand and we must accept that that is going to be the reality. But we do it anyway, because it's what justice demands.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir. Well, you know, this existing situation is one that cannot be tolerated. People are starving. Women, children are being killed daily. And these women and children are not at war with anybody. So we ought to be taking action. And we saw last week that the situation in the Middle East escalated because Israel bombed Iran. And the United States also bombed Iran. Now, what both of you, gentlemen, what do you make of this latest situation in the Middle East between Israel, United States, and Iran? Suleiman, you want to start?
Sure. So just to point out, there's a long history of creating a narrative that the other is the demon, the other is the evil one. And that has what been happening in terms of the Middle East from the time of colonization until the bringing into the Middle East of the Zionist state of Israel. They have created this narrative that the other is the demon, the other is the terrorist, the other is the one that is the bad person. And building that image over many years, that narrative, that those decades of lies has led us to the point where, you know, you then begin to do things with impunity. So you see this latest episode of saying Iran is the one that is the problem. We can go and bomb them and no one will say anything. Everyone will just jump on board. This is the colonization in the 21st century. And we have to, as people who have suffered through this, who have gone through enslavement, who have gone through colonization, who have gone through land displacement, we have, as a people in the Caribbean, to start to speak against these things. And you're right, we have to speak to those in power and without fear. And that's what they're doing. They're intimidating people into not speaking. I don't know if you've seen the latest advisory that has come out from the U.S. Embassy. Your phone must now be open. Of all your social media accounts must be to open, not private. They must see where you are going on your social media. This is crazy. We live now in a world that says you can only say this and you cannot say that. You can only do this and you cannot do that. This latest situation in the Middle East is showing that colonization is still active and alive. And you see those persons who are behind it, those who control the power, those who control the wealth and the military power. They want to control the rest of the world and they want to control the narrative. One of the things that Dr. Young mentioned is about during the time of apartheid. The Caribbean stood firmly against apartheid South Africa. And I think that we need to use that in our messaging, that as we stood firmly against apartheid South Africa, we need to stand firmly against apartheid Israel, because it's the same. Actually, Nelson Mandela said that what is happening in Israel is worse than what was happening in South Africa.
Yes, yes. Dr. Young?
Yeah, you know, I speak from strange position here. I'm a veteran of the United States military.
Okay.
But it's fascinating to me, looking at what has happened in the past a couple of days, where one country with over 2,000 nuclear weapons, another country with over 200 undeclared nuclear weapons. The same country, by the way, that gave the nuclear weapons to South Africa to murder African people, decided that they had a right, some kind of a moral right, to attack another country because that country may or may not be able to produce less than a dozen nuclear weapons in the face of 200 and 2,000. Now, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not a philosopher or anything, I'm not even an ethicist, but that does not make sense to me. It doesn't make, it's inhuman, it's immoral, it is absolutely wrong. And we got a draft dodger sitting in the White House who did not serve, that let his daddy pay somebody to stop him from doing what other young men were being forced to do. I got no sympathy for it. So that's my take on that. Yes. And they can put that on my, when they develop the attack messages to come after me, yes. They can put that, definitely put that on there too.
Yes. And then we also observed that the United States intervened and drop bomb in Iran. They claim that they attacked Iran's nuclear sites and they were destroyed. Now, we are not certain about that. But one thing is clear is that this situation has endangered the lives of innocent people on both sides, right?
Exactly.
And this is something that we cannot support. Support. Just on the situation in Gaza, the last word I heard, I mean, there were delays. There were still delays in delivering aid to the people of Gaza. And so I don't know if any of you have heard any information about aid, food and water going to the people.
They're still killing people who are lining up for the aid that they say is there and they're providing. And as they go in the line to get the food, they are deliberately killing these people. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. And what has the Iran situation has done is diverted the world's attention away from Gaza for them to continue mercilessly. And it's not only Gaza, by the way, it is the West Bank as well. They have effectively shut off the West Bank. In many areas, it is now cordoned off. You cannot go in or you cannot go out. The sacred sites are also closed off to Palestinians. And so you are seeing, and it's a total news blackout. So you're not getting the true picture of what's happening there. The genocide continues. People's attention is diverted into talking about Iran and the news. So, you see this being played over and over, and innocent people are dying every day.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is totally unacceptable. Totally. Well, we hope that the Caribbean leaders will pay some closer attention to this situation, and we are also watching to see how the Supreme Court in Barbados is going to treat this lawsuit. Gentlemen, before we go, I have to ask you this, because right on our doorstep, one of our neighboring country, I'm talking about Haiti, the Asian people are also struggling at the moment. Starvation, violence, the lives of thousands of Haitians have been disrupted, and many have been killed since the start of the year. I wonder, what are your thoughts on the Haitian situation? You who want to start? Yes.
Go ahead, Dr. Young.
Again, as with Palestine, those of us on the continent and the diaspora who have some level of, let's call it freedom, for want of a better term, African people, owe what little so-called freedom we have to the sacrifices of the Haitian peoples, and they have paid and have been made to pay by white supremacy and all its manifestations a horrible price, a terrible and ongoing price. And so we see them continuing to use their imaginations to create all kinds of horrors to the people of Haiti ongoing. So I'm not surprised. I'm horrified, and concerned about what is happening in Haiti. I wish the brothers there who are taking up arms for whatever reason and destroying what is left of their country will realize that it doesn't make sense, and that in the end, they're not going to be able to create an Afghanistan if that's what they think if that's what they're going for in Haiti. The United States is not going to allow an Afghanistan in their backyard at any cost. So I don't know how these brothers see this thing working out, but I wish they would have more compassion, more decency, and more care for their country and for each other and for humanity, and to stop doing what they're doing and create peace. Because if you can create war, you can also create some peace in Haiti, so that Haiti can prosper, and everybody can live in a good society. I'm not sure what the end goal is for these brothers who are committing all the horrors that they're committing. I don't know, and as a psychologist, I struggle to understand what the end. As a military person, I struggle to understand what the end goal is. I can't see it, but I truly wish that they would find another path.
Yeah,
I do, because at the end of the day, yes, there are external forces, but the external forces right now are not the ones with the guns. They're not the ones who are raping children. They're not the ones who are setting fire to hospitals and to people's homes.
yes.
So,
Yes. Ms. Suleiman, what's your final point?
I echo the sentiments of my brother, Dr. Young, in terms of Haiti. We really hope that common sense will prevail. But the reality is that, they have suffered, and they have suffered for many, many years. And as he said, they paid the price for fighting for freedom very early on in the whole trauma of enslavement. And for me, though, I am worried, because I am seeing a expansion of this gun culture within the Caribbean, and there's no Caribbean country that manufactures guns. So where are the guns coming from? They must be coming from somewhere, and there must be a deliberate attempt to make this area have many guns and people to be using them. And we are seeing it in Barbados, an increasing number of gun-related actions and violence and murders. We're seeing it in Trinidad, in St. Lucia, in all parts, I think in Jamaica probably. And you're seeing it proliferate across the region. We have to really get to the bottom of it and see what's happening. But as I said, we don't make guns. The guns are coming from somewhere, and it has to be a deliberate attempt to bring guns into our society to create anarchy. And it's something that we, as people who understand, are conscious, that we have to make an effort. I do hope that Caribbean people will wake up to the reality of what's happening in our region and across the world as well. But I thank you for...
Yes, gentlemen, I want to thank both of you very much for your time. And, you can expect us to call on you again because we have to keep these issues on the front burner. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that was Dr. Carl Young, and you had Suleiman, and Suleiman is our secretary from the Caribbean Against Apartheid Palestine. All right, let us take a break. This is Web Radio.
Everybody sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies is holding up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, Hardware and Supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So, come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies.
Oh, Jamaica, rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all, there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky. Shine bright, Jamaica. Shine bright, Jamaica. Feel the rhythm, we're on track. Feel it, feel it. Together we rise, together we climb. JPS Jamaica, together we shine.
Shine from the ends, shine with your family, shine with your friends. Light up the streets and make the vibes blend. Yo, JPS and make the shine never end.
Property for sale in Oak Bay, Portland, known as Hermitage Farm, located on the main road east of Oak Bay Police Station and west of Somerset Falls. Property size is 74 acres and includes a house with 5 bedrooms, 4,971 square feet, with water storage and a 3.5 acre coastal pond. Asking price US $2 million. For further information, kindly contact Kenneth Tomlinson, receiver, trustee, care of Business Recovery Services Limited, 11 Connolly Avenue, Kingston 4. Telephone number 876-948-001225. So that's 876-948-001225.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome back to Rebel Radio. And we continue our discussion on the genocide in Gaza. You know, as I mentioned at the start of the program, that the CARICOM Heads of Governments Conference will be held in Jamaica between the 6th and 8th of July. The Palestinian community, you know, is planning a peaceful demo to urge our heads of government to sever relations with the Zionist state. We have with us public commentator and journalist now, Lloyd Dagelar, and a member of the local Palestinian community. Let me start with the lady. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Just remind me of your name again.
Donna Mattis. I'm Donna Mattis. Okay. And I'm a Palestinian activist.
Yes. So Donna, what do you make of the current situation in Gaza? How you think it should be treated?
Well, I think we have to look at the situation in Gaza, and both morally and ethically and politically. If we're looking at it from a moral standpoint, it is a test of not so much our humanity, I would say, because the people around the world, there has been this movement for Palestine has started. I have been an activist for a while, and I never dreamed that I would see so many the whole world behind Palestine, the Palestinians. You know, the disconnect now is between we the people and our government, because they are failing. Mm-hmm. So and apart from that, I want to face the Palestinian issue in political perspective. Yes. Because what the Palestinians have been fighting against, resisting for 77 years is not a religious war, as the Zionist Western media and the Western ruling class want to make it out to be. It's not a religious war. Politically, Palestine is a metaphor for a larger liberation struggle that we in the post-colonial world has been going through ever since 1945, when decolonization took form. Yes. So we must. Pardon?
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have to place the Palestinian issue within the context of the larger liberation struggle in the global South. I have to, when I do that, I place it within the family of the anti-colonial struggle. And within that context, the context of a national liberation struggle, as was the Haitian Revolution, as was the Mau Mau Revolution, as was the slave resistance, if you place it within that context, Palestine becomes a part of the historical architectural framework of resistance. Yeah. So that is how I like to look at it, and placed also within the context of anti-imperialism. In the context of Gaza, Zionism, because Zionism is what drives what is happening has been happening in Palestine for over 77 years. So that's basically how I like to frame the whole conversation, to frame the narrative.
Yes. Lydie, how you think the Caribbean leaders should treat with this issue?
Well, as I've said before, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, Caribbean governments, and in particular, Jamaican government led by Michael Manley, stood up very firmly against apartheid in South Africa, and they tried to build an international movement to put pressure on the racists in South Africa who were oppressing black people there. It paid off. There were results. And eventually, the apartheid system, the white people, the oppressors, had to make concessions. And then Nelson Mandela came on the scene, etc. And the apartheid system was eventually, dismantled. And so the same thing is going on right now in Palestine. There is no doubt about it that a genocide is being committed. Whatever the historical origins of it, a genocide. And as Mia Mottley from Barbados, the Prime Minister of Barbados, has said, we are seeing a televised genocide. Right, the genocide against the Jews by Hitler, it wasn't televised, but this one is televised. We are seeing it every night on television, where they are killing people, they are starving them to death, and all kind of things like that. And so therefore, the Caribbean governments must take a stand. CARICOM must take a stand, and they must decide that they must end diplomatic relations with Israel. They must use the word genocide. None of them is using the word genocide in terms of what is going on in Gaza. And so this CARICOM meeting that will be taking place July 6 to 8, and we have a new chairman of CARICOM, which is Andrew Holness. And so what we are saying to Andrew Holness is that this matter must be put on the agenda for discussion come July 6 to 8. We look at the agenda, we don't see anything about Gaza being on the agenda. So we are saying that this must be on the agenda, and the solution must be that CARICOM must take a stand, and they must end diplomatic relations with Israel. And if it is not put on the agenda and they don't discuss it, then it means that they are complicit with the genocide that is taking place, right? They are complicit with it. We, the people, are not complicit because it affects us on a daily basis, emotionally and politically, when we see what is being committed against these people. And so therefore, we will be calling upon people who stand in solidarity with the people of Gaza, the Palestinians, to come out to the Montego Bay Convention Center on July 6th to stand up and hold up some placards, and let us send a strong message to Andrew Holness and to the other heads of CARICOM that will be there for that meeting, that we are expecting them to take a position to end diplomatic relations with Israel. I think whoever is listening right now should remember that date, July 6th, the Montego Bay Convention Center, and several organizations will be there, and we'll be holding up placards, we'll be sending a message to the government. And we are in the process now of writing a letter to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, letting him know that he must put this matter on the agenda for discussion. And if he doesn't put this matter on the agenda for discussion, then we will be holding him accountable as being complicit with the genocide that is taking place in Gaza. And let me just say one more thing about this. neither the government nor the opposition have come out and used the word genocide in terms of what is happening in Gaza. None of them come out and say, boy, we must end diplomatic relations with Israel, blah, blah, blah. And so therefore, what other word can we use to say that they are complicit? We are not complicit, and we are speaking out against it. And we are saying that with elections coming up now, if the government and the opposition don't stand up and speak out against the genocide, then we the people have a right to say that they are complicit and to even call for a boycott of the elections. Because as Mia Motley said, we are witnessing a televised genocide taking place. We do not support it. It is wicked. It is inhuman. It is crimes against humanity. And the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice have issued arrest warrants. They use the word genocide, crimes against humanity, and the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, and his Minister of Defense. So therefore, this is a very serious international matter, and the government just can't, look the other way and don't do anything about it. CARICOM can't just look the other way and do anything about it. And we must make our voices be heard.
Yes, I agree with you. And Donna, you have been an activist for years, but I'm sure that what is happening now, you are shocked. Aren't you shocked by what you are seeing happening in Gaza now?
Yes. I don't even know. As you said, I've followed this conflict for a while, and it's just that, how should I say this? The atrocities have been going on for 77 years. It's televised, so the whole world now sees exactly what has been taking place behind the scenes. But I don't know if it's maybe in terms of the number of people, the number of Palestinians dying now. It's shocking, but these atrocities, they're not new. And as I said before, I can't understand why CARICOM heads are reserved in calling this a genocide, because international experts, Jewish experts on genocide have declared that it is a genocide. Genocide is a part of this whole fabric of settler colonialism. You have to either subject or you have to eliminate the indigenous population to establish the settler colonial project. And that is what has been happening in Gaza for 77 years. It is a part of the logic of elimination, where you want as less or as little of the indigenous population on the land. You want to clear off the land, and that is what has been taking place in Gaza and the West Bank for 77 years.
Yes. Let me just add something to what Donna is saying there. People may not realize it, but I'm sure people realize it. But genocide took place in Jamaica. When the Spanish came to Jamaica, they captured Jamaica from the Tainos, and they and the British committed genocide against the Taino people. We call them Arawak, but Taino is the name for these people. They kill them off and they completely destroy them. one or two people say, boy, them still have some blood connection to the Tainos. But genocide was committed here. And yes, genocide is what is being committed in Gaza because Donald Trump has said that he supports Israel 100%. And if they kill off all the people, destroy the land, then he will rebuild and set it up as a kind of tourist resort center. That is what is going on. And Benjamin Netanyahu has no care for the Palestinian people. He's destroying all the houses. He is starving them to death. He wants to get rid of them completely. And when he gets rid of them, he will rebuild it according to what Israel wants it to be, just like how they captured the West Bank and they are slowly removing all the Palestinian people from the West Bank. So that is what this thing is all about. That's what genocide is going about. And the tactics they're using is what have been going on for decades there, where they will come to a house and say, Hamas people or some terrorists are in this building, move out. And if the people don't move out, they drop bombs in there and destroy the buildings. Now, this is what they are conveniently using, that, people come for food. Well, you have some Hamas people inside there, so we just go and kill them and shoot them. And we destroy the buildings because they're using that as a pretext. Yes. And the pretext is being used so that they will eventually control the whole place and rebuild it to suit themselves, to make it like Trump wanted to be into a tourism resort center and make money off it. That is what is being done. And we, the people, must oppose something like that. That is a crime against humanity. That is wickedness. That is genocide. And we know what genocide is because it was committed against the Taino people in Jamaica. We know what that is. And we know the Maroons had to fight against the British, etc., etc. And we, the people, must now stand up, because if we don't stand up, history is going to record us as being complicit as well. We must make our voices be heard. So if the government and the opposition want to be complicit, we the people must not be complicit. We must speak up. We must let our voice be heard. And on July 6th, we must go down to the Montego Bay Convention Center, hold up some placards, and send a message to all the CARICOM leaders and to the leader of Jamaica that we do not support having diplomatic relations with Israel. As a minimum, that is a position that must be taken by CARICOM.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you both for your time. And as yes, Donna.
Yeah, could I just say something? Add to what Lloyd said, is that we as people who came out of genocide ourselves, we were created out of the genocide, as Lloyd said, of the Tainos, of the genocide of the whole Amerindian population in the new world. And even if our governments don't understand that, they have to. They have a sacred duty to speak out against this genocide. We, the people in Jamaica, I see lots of people marching up in Europe, they're marching in the United States, but the response in Jamaica hasn't been, as I would have loved it to be. And as I said, I'm trying to make that connection, to make that connection that Gaza is us. As goes Gaza, goes us. This is our history. So we need to get out there. We need to get up, stand up, put on our Gideon boots, get in the trenches, and get out there and force our government to sever diplomatic relations with Israel. It's an obligation that we have, because we cannot, as third-party states, be complicit in genocide. Okay. On the international law, have an obligation to end ties with Israel.
Okay. Well, okay, we are going to leave it there for today, but let us say to be continued because we have to continue to keep these issues on the front line. I want to thank you very much for your time this evening. Thanks to
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That was journalist Lloyd Aguilar and Palestinian activist Donna Mattis. Yes, let us go for a break. This is Rebel Radio.
Everybody sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagley Park Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with your super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
This is what she have around there.
Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're rich in kind, so energy that lights the sky. Shine bright, Jamaica. Shine bright, Jamaica. We're on track. Feel it, feel it. Together we climb. JPS Jamaica. Together we shine.
Shine from the ends, shine with your family, shine with your friends. Light up the streets and make the vibes blend. Your JPS and make the shine never end.
Property for sale in Oak Bay, Portland, known as Hermitage Farm, located on the main road east of Oak Bay Police Station and west of Somerset Falls. Property size is 74 acres and includes a house with 5 bedrooms, 4,971 square feet, with water storage and a 3.5 acre coastal pond. Asking price US $2 million. For further information, kindly contact Kenneth Tomlinson, receiver, trustee, care of Business Recovery Services Limited, 11 Connolly Avenue, Kingston 4. Telephone number 876-948-001225. So that's 876-948-001225.
Now hear this.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome back to Rebel Radio. Yes, and we are going to go over to California now. Yes, you know, We want to find out what Californians are saying about what is happening in the Middle East, and last, as you know, that a couple of weeks ago there was a mass demonstration over there in California, and this was against the immigration policies of the government. We'll have a word on that. We have with us a member of the diaspora and journalist Neville Johnson. Neville, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you,
yes,
Mr. Richards.
Yes.
And to your listeners.
Right. So I know that Californians have been watching and paying attention to what is happening. So far, what has been the reaction to the situation in the Middle East, Israel and Iran and America too?
Well, in the Middle East, there is a quote-unquote truce. But you really cannot say. But things seems to be quiet at the moment, based on the agreement between Israel and Iran. So the missiles from Iran stop flying, and the bombs from Israel stop falling for the moment and at the moment. Yes. Right. But as you know, in California, especially in LA, the Iranian community is a very large one. It is between 500,000 and 800,000 Iranian Americans here.
Yes, that's massive, man.
Certainly. Most of them are living in LA.
Yes.
And they came out and demonstrated against what they regarded as the illegal act against their country by the United States. And there were some politicians from the Democratic Party, such as Governor Gavin Newsom, came out and demonstrated his angry concern about the situation.
Yes.
And he criticized the strike as reckless and destabilizing.
Okay.
So, yeah. And people are still organizing demonstration, but their demonstration, it's unlike the immigrants demonstration or the demonstration that organized by the immigrants or the organizations that help immigrants to organize. Let us put it that way. It is peaceful. These Iranians are not attacking buildings, or they're just demonstrating peacefully.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So yes. So they are totally with their government in Iran. Yes. So that is yes. And yes. Yes, Desmond, go ahead.
But as you say, it was some peaceful demonstration, nothing.
Yes. No violence, no looting, no one were prevented from going about their legitimate business. It is.
Yes.
These demonstrators were well disciplined, well organized. And they had a central message: hands off Iran.
Yes.
Yes.
So What has happened to those other protests? Because as I mentioned before, you know, you had some serious protests there 2 weeks ago. Has that cooled down too?
Yes, that has cooled down to an extent. But the major demonstration now is the Iranian population here in LA as well as in other parts of California.
Okay.
And it is peaceful so far.
Yes.
There were no one infiltrated the demonstration because you must have known Iranians are very disciplined people. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Neville, so far, have you been able to get any reports on? I'm talking about the immigration situation now. Have you been able to get any reports on the impact of the immigration situation in California? In other words, have you had any reports of how it is impacting workplaces? In other words, is it impacting labor in California?
Yes, it has impacted. Small business has, a lot of small businesses have been impacted negatively. Yes, and inflation has jumped to an increase of 1.4, which is now total 3.4%. Yeah, and there are some people who have been driven out of their homes because of this situation. They're unable to pay their bills, their rent, among other things. So it has impacted. And some businesses are unable to find workers to work in their businesses, industries, yes, construction, agriculture. So it has impacted negatively
Okay.
on businesses.
Yes. So do you know what are their plans to address this issue? Because, for example, I can well imagine that the farms would be and construction and the hospitality industry. Those are probably some of the primary ones that are affected.
Yes. But that is true.
Right.
Yes, and over 10 million immigrants reside in California, as you know.
Whoa, 10 million.
Yes, which makes up roughly, say, 27% of its population.
Yes.
Yes. So, and these workers have been employed in agriculture, construction, hospitality. I think over 50% of farm workers are immigrants.
Yes.
Yes. Some are also in tech and healthcare.
Whoa.
And based on the data that I looked at, immigrants in California are twice as likely to start businesses compared to United States born citizens. And they own over 1 in 3 small businesses in the state. Yes, and when you look at tax contribution, In 2023, undocumented immigrants paid an estimated $3 billion in state and local taxes. $3 billion US dollars.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I see. So, and in the meantime, what ICE has continued its raids?
Yes, I still continuing what it sets out to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Over 800 persons have been arrested so far.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
So, yes. So the social and cultural impact is what you'd call it's massive.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to understand that in California, over 200 languages are spoken here.
200 languages?
Yes. Over 200 languages are spoken here. Yes. So, and immigrants, Mr. Richards, contribute to a vibrant cultural scene from food to arts to tech innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And yes. So they really contribute significantly to the economy.
Yes.
And students, because I have a few students who are from Mexico and other countries,
Mm-hmm.
and they make up 19% of K-12 students. 19%.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
So they really do contribute significantly, and you also need to remember that some of these workers, some of these families have been here for over 30, 40 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could say America is their home. They do not know any other place. Some of them have never returned back to their country
Yes,
because
sir.
of their illegal status.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can well imagine that this immigration policy is impacting the lives of many people in California. I can well imagine that.
Certainly.
Yes.
Directly and indirectly.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yes. 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 It has, yeah, basically. And the government response is, well, in California, for example, the state level strategies which they have implemented or trying to implement is that limits cooperation between local law enforcement and ICE. And they are trying to promote sanctuary state policies.
What are those?
And when that's all those legislations supposed to be come in effect the 1st of July of this year.
Mm.
And then on health care, California had expanded medical to over, well, a large number of undocumented immigrants of all ages. And as a result, it has put excess pressure on the budget of California.
Yes.
Yes. And at the moment, they are trying to recruit as many bilingual teachers as possible because there is a massive shortage of bilingual teachers in California.
Oh my.
Yes. There is also a legal aid program, which is state funded to help immigrants with asylum applications, DACA renewals, and deportation defense. So they are trying to put measures in place. That is the governor. And you also have local community plans that are working with the political representatives to put strategies in place to assist migrants.
Yes, sir. The other thing I need to ask you, I remember it was last year. Well, last year wasn't the first time, but the impact of those massive fires, all those communities that were damaged, what have they been rebuilt? Are they rebuilding them, or what has happened to those places?
Look, those communities cannot be rebuilt. Irrespective of what the politicians want to say. Yes. So these fires have had far-reaching and devastating impact, affecting the environment, public health, the economy, social well-being of millions.
So why you say they cannot be rebuilt?
It's not going to be rebuilt for now because of the massive amount of capital that requires. Also, some people have started to put things together. A lot of areas, debris have not been fully cleared.
Yes.
So the economic impact in terms of property damage. Remember that the fire destroy homes, schools, businesses, and infrastructure.
Yes, I remember.
Now, the campfire alone caused over $16.5 billion in damages. I'm talking the campfire alone.
Yes.
And insurance losses. Insurers face what I would call billions in payouts. That led some to withdraw from covering fire-prone areas altogether.
Okay.
Then remember, agricultural losses. Farms suffer destructions of crops, vineyards, and livestock. And California, as you might have known, has a very large agricultural economy.
Wow. So
a lot of the people I do not know. Some of them have to be staying at friends' homes, relatives. It's pernicious, to just use one word.
So based on what you are,
yes.
No, you are
and remember, Mr. Richards, the firefighting costs. California spends billions annually on fire suppression.
Yes, of course.
To be frank, I remember going through some data where I saw $4 billion in recent years. $4 billion. Now, all of that money could have been put into social and economic programs for socio-development, education, schools, health, among others. But the management in California is very poor. The political management, and coupled with the excess corruption that exists, and that is why they are unable to get these things under control to an extent. But you must also remember that, you know, it's not just what I would call a man-made thing where they are negligent as well. There are natural factors that cause some of these fires.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because California has a history of those huge forest fires,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
but I just remember that the last time it really attacked some residential areas.
It's the largest, yes, some of the most expensive homes, the richest. In fact, it attacked the richest community
Yes.
in California, which, you know, I really felt it for those people. Some of them have no insurance whatsoever. Because, yes,
And so
the insurance companies in California are going on holiday, not writing anything to protect these homes. A lot of insurance companies do not want to deal with California. They do not want to know, not at all, based on the high risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are saying, based on what you have seen, those communities are going to be abandoned. They are not going to be rebuilt.
I would not say they are going to. I would not say they are going to be left in isolation. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying at the moment, the financial resources are not there for the majority of people to start rebuilding. Yes. Yeah. So they are trying to get their act together. What I thought central and local government would have done is to come together and introduce what I would call a rescue pool, where they put at least a $200 billion, because they have sent billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight war, to kill people. So it's not that the money is not there. They could put up at least $200 billion for people to start and give them, put it through some financial entities where those people would have paid up probably 1% or 2% interest, or or just help them to build their homes free, because they have given Ukraine billions of dollars of our taxpayers' money free. So therefore, helping your citizens would be just critical, and get those people back on their feet.
Yeah.
But
never.
none of that.
You're not going to see that right now. Yeah.
No, because these politicians' priorities are just totally absurd. They will finance wars and to kill other people, but they're not helping their citizens the way they should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have to leave it there for today, but as you know, we will continue to look at the situation in California next week.
Certainly.
So take very good care, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Bye.
One of the things, one of the things that I think we are going to look at, next week is to try and get an understanding of, the Jamaican community or the Caribbean community in California. Let us go for a break.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky. Shine bright, Jamaica. Shine bright, Jamaica. Feel the rhythm, we're on track. Feel it, feel it. Together we rise, together we climb. JPS Jamaica, together we shine.
Shine for the ends, shine with your family, shine with your friends. Light up the streets and make the vibes blend. Yo, JPS and make the shine never end.
Property for sale in Oak Bay, Portland, known as Hermitage Farm, located on the main road east of Oak Bay Police Station and west of Somerset Falls. Property size is 74 acres and includes a house with 5 bedrooms, 4,971 square feet, with water storage and a 3.5 acre coastal pond. Asking price US $2 million. For further information, kindly contact Kenneth Tomlinson, receiver, trustee, care of Business Recoveries Services Limited, 11 Connolly Avenue, Kingston 4. Telephone number 876-948-001225. So that's 876-948-001225.
Now hear this.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. I'm going over to Northeast Manchester. Yes. Now, this is one of the constituencies that the PNP must win if they are to retain power. Yes. Well-known businessman Val Wint is down there, and he has indicated his intention to take it. This is a constituency that has been in the JLP corner for decades, you know, Manor Yard, Hardley Shaw, that is Manor Yard, Hardley Shaw's home. Well, Mr. Winter's a new contender, in Ambassador Audrey Marks. You know, Miss Marks was the ambassador, Jamaican ambassador to the United States. She's now in representational politics. Mr. Wint, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Desmond.
Yes, sir.
How are you keeping?
Well, I am supposed to be okay.
All right, I'm really hoping that you are really okay.
Yes. Have you found out if those black water drums that Miss Marks has promised to give to his supporters, have you found out how they'll be funded, whether they are be funded from public resources or private resources?
Well, I leave that to Miss Audrey Marks to bring that to the public. You see, as a minister of government, I'm sure she knows that any public pronouncement of any gift or any receipts of any donation is something of public interest. And she would also realize that when you make that pronouncement, the first thing that will come to people's minds is that you're doing it from the public coffers. Certainly, I am sure the Prime Minister could never come out at any point and say he's giving a house and we believe it's coming from him, or giving some black tanks for that matter, as he did in the 2023 to 2024 budget. He made an offer of approximately 10,000 black tanks.
Yes, I remember
spread across the constituency.
Yes.
And certainly, Northeast Manchester would have received quite a bit of that.
Yes.
If it would be distributed equally, we would have been getting approximately 150 to 158 thereabout. Fact is, it seems quite strange that I have not seen such distribution of a single black tank in Northeast Manchester. And this figure matches the exact figure that Miss Marks is donating to the constituency. However, if it was really from our private resources, I'm sure she realized that since the 8th of March of this year, we're on election watch. And all donations, whether it be cash or kind, have to be reported and kept in the context of the law with respect to the ROPA.
Yes.
I'm sure she would have known that. So that's a very large amount. And the fact is, though I would want to see black tanks distributed to every single household in Manchester, because we are a drought-stricken community, I would love to see every single farmer get a black tank to aid them with irrigation when we have dry times. The fact is, whatever is done must be done properly. And it can't be from a political stand where we claim giving it to our figurative Pastor Pitney. You know, it can't be done that way.
No.
And whether it's a gift from her or from supporters to the people of Northeast Manchester, for God's sake, man, don't bring politics into it. Because we all want black tanks.
Yes. Okay. So, you know of a worthy opponent?
Well, yes, I consider to be my worthy opponent. And the fact is, you do know that Northeast Manchester is currently in the hands of the Member of Parliament Audley Shaw, who represents the Jamaica Labour Party.
Yes.
And this has been so for the last 33 years.
Yes, sir.
You know, much to our regret, because we have not really seen any kind of significant change in Northeast Manchester over these 33 years. Fact is, he was man a yard. We can't take that away from him. I challenged him twice before, and he got the better of me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, in 2011, when I challenged him, I knew very well that he was, I would say, one of the most popular politicians in Jamaica. I knew very well that the office of Minister of Finance was a very big one. But certainly, I was hungry for better representation myself. And the fact is, there's no better thing to do than put your foot in the ring so you can find the kind of representation that you want to give to the people. And that is what I did back then.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, I was quite aware that the Labour Party was in government and would have bigger resources, far more resources than the PMP who were in opposition. Certainly, I know that Manayard was a powerful contender.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, we went at it. Still number one. And I probably don't have to tell the radio land exactly what happened in that election.
Mm-hmm.
And what eventually happened. One. What eventually happened. Nevertheless, we gave him a team came again. And we were at him because we're saying either you're going to improve or you're going to come out. Right up to the end of the election, when that fallacy was brought to the public fore, where people should be getting 1.5 million. I've never seen any such fallacy before. And people actually believed it. You know, so they used that one and they got us out. Yes. But I must say to you, I am here again. And I'm not here just for the sake of contesting. I am pursuing this because I definitely want to see better results coming from representation, better results coming from our representatives.
Yes.
I'm here to make sure that that happens. I live among the people. I work among them. I know what their pain is. Currently, I can tell you all the things that are affecting them because I've listened, I've felt it, I've lived their life. Yes. I am not someone who is just coming in because I know that traditionally this seat has a bigger Labour base than PMP. I too have been invited to run for the Labour Party. Yes, outgoing member of Parliament had approached me. But I told him that if the people really want better representation, it has nothing to do with a political party. It has to do with the individual. So whether I stay on the PMP side or go on the Labour side, the truth is the people want better representation. Yes. And I see no reason to go on the Labour side because the fact is the PMP is certainly a better government.
Yes, sir. Yes. So I know we have spoken already and we have spoken about the issues, and we know that water is one of the issues in Manchester. But what Manchester is supposed to be one of, or probably the largest producer of Irish potato. I don't know if it still has that record.
Well, yes, I would say yes, it still has a record. From early in the 50s when the Dutch government decided to to sponsor the planting of Irish potato in Jamaica, and they experimented with it there. They built a few warehouses and got farmers in, they formed a potato crop, and it was doing pretty well. The fact is we are away from the amount that we target to produce every year because of climate change. The place is becoming hot. Manchester is traditionally a very cool place. So, back then we had the ideal climate. Today, I see where the production levels are falling way, way below what we should be producing for us to be viable. Truth be told, the farmers need assistance. The quality potato that we are getting is not matching the best standards. And so people are still importing potato. But, and we definitely need water for potato. We need to have better irrigation systems to assist us with that. So probably that's part of the reason why the production levels are so low. But, global warming is affecting the entire world. This whole matter of climate change is of great concern to everybody. And as a result, we see weather a pattern that we can't predict. We see sometimes we have floods. other time we have just very, very dry season. You know, when it gets very dry, you know, what we need from the government is not just to send a truckload of water every now and again. We require a state of emergency when it gets dry, because the government will take it quite serious when people can't find water to bathe themselves, to cook them food, to water the garden. So this is no joke. We really need assistance and storage facilities. We need to have a better water distribution system. We have rivers here, we have streams here. It's just a political will that we have not yet found, so that we can have water piped to every single house in the northeast Manchester. Water used to be here before, you know.
Yes.
Sir Richard's water was here before in the 70s. Many of those lines are just laying down with no water in it because of, you know, damage to the lines at different parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to do better, man.
Okay. Yes. And I know the congestion in Christiania is something that you have on your agenda too.
Well, that's a very serious one too, because I must tell you, that has been a very long-standing concern, to the point where between Christian and Paulins, we oftentimes have riots, we have roadblocks, because there's a tussle between the police, who try to maintain law and order, the taximen and other commuters simply can't find anywhere to park. Over the last couple of years, I have helped to facilitate parking in Christiana. I currently take over 350 taxis off the road every single day, so we can have traffic flowing freely in Christian. Mm-hmm. Yes, and this is something I have, you know, regrets in doing, because if you really want to serve the people, then put your money where your mouth. Go out here and do what you can for the people. I could have made so much better use of my property, but the fact is, there can be nothing better you do than to serve your people. But I could have really made more personal, get more personal benefit from that. Mm-hmm. Certainly, my first charge has to be to the people who I live among. For the people I so much want to represent, because they need representation. It's lacking here. We have a bypass that we constructed, and for years they tried to put the bypass to the eastern side of the town. But that side of the town, the land was very unstable. So eventually, a couple landowners were approached, including myself. And I gave the largest piece of land here to build that Christiana bypass. It removed some of the congestion from the road, but it's still not doing enough. Mm-hmm. We want a proper place to park the vehicles that ply the town, both public and private vehicles. There is a piece of land there right now that all it needs is just to be developed into a proper park. We can hold probably 6, 8 times, probably 10 times the cars that no parking. So, you know, this is something that I have to look to as soon as I become the Member of Parliament for North East Manchester. It's one of the products that will be taken almost immediately.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's much work to be done.
Yeah. I know you know Mr. Shah very well, right? And
yes, I do know Mr. Shaw.
Yes. No. Give me a honest rating of Mr. Shah's performance in Northeast Manchester.
All right. If you were to ask me about his congeniality, and if you ask me, you know, and in this I mean his ability to move among others, his ability to the people at the bottom and at the top, I would tell you that I could give him 10 out of 10. For that, he was really man of yard. But if you ask me, what is his rating in terms of performance and bringing about the necessary development to Northeast Manchester, better roads, I burst a tire almost every 2 weeks. Water supply, I couldn't tell you last year I get a shower after be getting water from a tank and pumping it up to get some water. I use pan, like everybody else in Northeast Manchester. Farming assistance to help the farmers with their planting materials and the necessary machinery to make farming more modern and easier. As it relates to the school, we have a high school here named Christian High School that has been on the shift system from ever since. Pitney have to come to school before daylight and have to go home in the night.
Why?
That needs to change. We need another high school.
Why is
recreational
that so?
facilities. We have no active community centers in Northeast Manchester. When we compare to Northwest, that have a community center for every community, we need that in Northeast Manchester too. So therefore, there's so much more to be done. So much more. As it relates to early childhood education, I believe we're at a point right now where we have to look at the realities that face us in this constituency. One of the biggest problems we have is that our children are starting off too late because we don't have enough early childhood facilities that is being manned and managed by government. I would even go further to say we need to have daycare centers. Most of the breadwinners in the families are women. So after they have their babies and get the 3 months maternity, they need to go back to work. So government needs to now provide in every single community a daycare center where these children can be looked after professionally so the mothers can be sent back to work to see what they can provide for their families. As a developer, I can tell you that has been one of the mandates of the parish council in recent times. My last development I'm doing at the moment, there is a place provided for a daycare center. Such an institution needs to be placed on every development. It should be mandatory because we have to care for our young. Many of these children, by the time they get to school, they pass the stage where they are like sponges. So even when they reach grade 6, they still can't read and write. You know, so we have to start them right if we want them to be right. So much more to be done. So little that is being done.
Yes, sir. I heard you, I hear you. I know that you have the Percy Junior Hospital there, which is a whole institution, an institution that has been serving the people of Manchester, Trelawney, and St. Anne for decades. Yes, I don't know. What about health clinics? Are you satisfied with?
All right, I attended a ceremony at the Percy Junior Hospital today because today they celebrate 80 years of existence as a community hospital. So I want to publicly congratulate them on 80 years of giving health care to the community. As it relates to Percy Junior itself, a secondary institution, health, it is an institution, we're at type C hospital. And I can tell you, it's an institution that I was chairman of for a while. It's an institution that while I was chairman, we upgraded the hospital. We had the floors done over, the electric done over, the plumbing done over, the roof done over. We fixed the yard, we changed the sewer system, we put in a central sterilization unit there. And the electricity is upgraded from 220 to 440 so we could operate our own X-ray machine. While I was chairman, we got an award as the best kept hospital in Jamaica. It was the cleanest. I also got an award during that time as the best run state agency, meaning it was being run better than the Minister of Finance. So right now, I am proud of the hospital as much as resources are very limited and you're not getting the necessary monies or staffing that they need. The nurses and doctors, they work tirelessly to see if they can give health care to the general public. Primary health care is lacking. We have, yes, a good health care center in Christian, and they're trying their best. But I do believe that we need more. The one up in Craighead has been done for a while. The people of Craighead have to be traveling all the way from Craighead, all the way down into Christian or Mandeville. The maternity clinic we have over in Malton, much more needs to be desired of that. And, young mothers find it difficult to get to Malton because you have to take a taxi from Craighead all the way to Christian and then from Christian to Malton. We have to pay more attention to our people, man. We can't treat people the way we're treating them. Mm-hmm. When you're government, you're there to facilitate the people who you serve, not yourself. So we need to see a change in this. We have to have a change in attitude. We have to develop a political will. As servants, we're not owners. We're here to work with the people. The people are our employers. So we have to really show the people that we are there for them, both JLP, PMP, and no P at all.
Yes, sir.
What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
So we need a change. We need a change. And people who know Baldwin will tell you it's the same Baldwin who has been there for them, the same Baldwin who has worked with the community all along, the same Baldwin who worked with the Red Cross with them, the same Baldwin who was chairman of almost all the schools here, the same Baldwin who, when he established a food stores up there, employed almost every family I had a member from. It's the same Baldwin who decided that we need a better look and moved into developing some lands we had there idle into, providing good housing solutions to a number of the people. It's the same Baldwin who facilitated the development of the Christian bypass. The same one who gave them the park. The same one who took the vendors from the road and find a place for them to sell in without charging them $1. It's the same Baldwin. So I'm here, and it's the same man who is looking forward to ensure that Christiana and its environment get better representation, because there's too much that is lacking.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wint, you know that we at Rebel Radio, we wish you all the best, and we will continue to do what we can to get your message across to the people. So thank you very much for your time this evening, sir. And
well, I want to say thanks for having me, and we really need to look towards those daycare centers, better recreational facilities. We really need to look at improving community playing fields, looking at our talented footballers and bringing them up, the whole education system from chalkboard to opportunities, the ease of programs where every child, whether on part or not, will get at least one nutritious meal per day. Rural development has to take place. The transport system has to be improved. The healthcare system has to be improved. Okay. Northeast Manchester is deserving of better governance. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. That was Mr. Val Wint. They're the PNP candidate for Northeast Manchester. Yes. Let us go for a break. This is Rebel Radio.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're rich in kinds, our energy that lights the sky. Shine bright, Jamaica. Shine bright, Jamaica. Feel the rhythm, we're on track. Feel it, feel it. Together we rise, together we climb. JPS Jamaica, together we shine.
Shine from the ends, shine with your family, shine with your friends. Light up the streets and make the vibes blend. Yo, JPS and make the shine never end.
Property for sale in Oak Bay, Portland, known as Hermitage Farm, located on the main road east of Oak Bay Police Station and west of Somerset Falls. Property size is 74 acres and includes a house with 5 bedrooms, 4,971 square feet, with water storage and a 3.5 acre coastal pond. Asking price US $2 million. For further information, kindly contact Kenneth Tomlinson, receiver, trustee, care of Business Recovery Services Limited, 11 Connolly Avenue, Kingston 4. Telephone number 876-948-001225. So that's 876-948-001225.
Now hear this.
I'll be there for you. walk? Is it how you talk? Or is it how you smile that make me come alive? I wanna know what it is about you. Can we go for a walk and have a little talk so I can get to know you? Got a lot of things to show you. Please understand that I'm only a man and my urge getting stronger. Don't keep me waiting much longer. Ah, yeah. Wanna get to know you better. Shouldn't have to tell you how I feel. You know my loving is real. From the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. What is this that I feel? Taking control of me, and my body's in trouble. I think it's you that I need. Yeah. Is it how you walk? Is it how you talk? Or is it how you smile that makes me come alive? I wanna know what it is about you. Every little thing that I've been searching for, girl, I see it in you. You're my dream come true. Every single day, in every little way, every single night I pray that you'll be there for me, 'cause I'll be there for you. Every little thing that I've been searching for, girl, I see it in you. You're my dream come true. Every single day, in every little way, every single night I pray. Oh, oh, na 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 na, yeah. Trying to get your attention, call you at work, can't get your extension. Where is my gate pass to your heart, girl? Do I need to write security in order to get an entry? Or do I need to break the lock on your vault? But I'm a patient man, I understand. I wanna know what is your plan. Must I wait, and for how long? Put an end to this frustration. See you and your friends, them flirting, trying to get me hurting. But don't you see my flex is so smart, girl? And as the world keeps turning, my love for you keeps on burning. Am I always in your thought? Cut me a key, give me a gate pass to your heart, yeah. Give me your number so we can make a start, yeah. Cut me a key, give me the gate pass to your heart, girl. Give me your number so we can make a start. Yeah, now give me the gate pass, give me the key to your heart, girl. Yeah. Trying to get your attention, girl, call you at work, can't get your extension. Now where is the gate pass to your heart, girl? Do I need to write security in order to get to your entry? Or do I need to break the lock on your vault? But I'm a patient man, I understand. I wanna know what is your plan. Must I wait, and for how long? Help me end this frustration. See you and your friends, them flirting, trying to get me hurting. Don't you see my flex is so smart, girl? It's so smart. As the world keeps on turning, my love for you, it keeps on burning. Am I always in your thoughts? Just cut me a key, give me a gate pass to your heart, girl. Give me that number so we can make a start, yeah. Cut me a key, give me a gate pass to your heart, girl. Give me that number so we can make a start. Whoa, whoa. Gotta do what we gotta do. DJ Caleb. You wanna have things your own way. Don't give a damn what you do or say. Don't even listen, maybe you don't care. Now you're going astray, girl. How long will it take you to change your ways? This crazy living night and day. So if you wanna go, you must go. And if you wanna stay, come my way. If you wanna go, you must go. And if you wanna stay, come my way. If you wanna go, you must go. And if you wanna stay, come my way. If you wanna go, you must go. And if you wanna stay, come my way. Instead of fussing every day, why don't you?
Girl, you can tune in on the station.
Hello? Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio, and it's time for food security. Yes, this is where we spend some time looking at what is happening in the agricultural sector. And we have been talking about Caribbean food security for some weeks now. We have with us Mr. Adam Harris. We have Mr. Shiraz Khan and Mr. Demar Harris. Yes, Mr. Shiraz Khan is from Trinidad. Mr. Adams is Jamaica. And we are trying to get hold of Mr. Bertrand out of Grenada. Let me try and get him back for, yes, Mr. He's out of Grenada there, Mr. Bertrand. Got John. Yes, a Grenadian farmer. But as I said, we have Mr. Shiraz Khan out of Trinidad, Mr. Demar Adams out of Jamaica. Gentlemen, good afternoon to you.
Pleasant good afternoon to you, my friend.
Yes.
Thanks for having me another week.
Yes, sir.
On this important issue.
Yes, yes.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes. Mr. Adams, Mr.
Yes,
Rule,
sir.
Mr. Rule introduced you to me. You are in St. Mary.
Yes, Western.
Yes. And tell me something. What is happening to the farmers in St. Mary? I know that burial did a lot of damage to the farming community there. How are the farmers recovering?
Very difficult on us.
Mm-hmm.
No support. I haven't get a support. I've laid off over 15 people. I lose over 50 million in the barrel incident, and I haven't get any help. Oh, only Banana Board give me a few bag of fertilizer.
Okay. You were producing bananas?
No, papayas.
Oh, papayas. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also a award winner for ICA Youth Business Award for 2022.
Okay. So
I'm champion farmer for St. Mary 2023.
Yes. So I know that your entire papaya farm was wiped out.
Yes, over 25 acres.
Oh my.
Sure. Along with multiple farms.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even my business partner, Mika Williams, lose a lot also. And Mango Valley get hit very bad.
Yeah. So at the moment, when it comes down to papaya, have you been able to, replant? How is that coming along?
I'm just starting. I'm just using my skills to get along, and I'm just starting to plant back. But I've invested in plantings. I have over 10,000 roots right now in the ground. Alongside sweet potato, sweet corn, etc.
Yes. So, as far as you are aware, the farmers in St. Mary, they are still struggling then?
Yeah, all of us been struggling. We not even have a good tractor or rather to get the plows and land.
Wow.
And we're not getting any support. We not put my mouth on ground and hide and talk. We're not getting no support around it. And round a full of bad road.
Yes. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Problems for the farmers in St. Mary. Yes. Not good at all. Yes, Mr. Khan. How are things?
Yeah, I sit here listening and I'm grieved for my fellow Caribbean man in a situation as such.
Yes.
And unless countries in the Caribbean, the islands does not treat agriculture as the bastard child of the economy, we would not be, in a way to be really self-sufficient in any way whatsoever. Because I am certain the importers and them benefited from his failure by looking to import rather than assist him to come back on his feet.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that is the problem.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing that happens in Trinidad and in other Caribbean countries. Because in 2005, we had a problem where we had lost some of our sheep and goats in 2005. And instead, the government spent the 20 million that they were using to import lamb from Uruguay and Argentina.
Yes.
And we had to protest when our national feed mills wanted to put up 75,000 square feet of cold storage to import more. So they rather to spend another 25 million to put up a cold storage, 75,000 square feet, and then continue to import more meat and bring it into the country rather than develop the sheep and goat sector.
Yes.
Since then, it's always been struggling because, as I said before, we treated before like the bastard child of the economy, and soon as there's a problem within the sector, and the sector, when there's a problem, is always man-made. To put somebody else, to see somebody else as the one to save the day by importing from countries that enjoy subsidies, not people like we in the Caribbean who don't enjoy subsidies. We may enjoy an incentive, but the reason for that again is about our lack of unity, and this is one of the reasons why we keep talking and I sacrificing the time to come here, because unless we don't unite in one way or the other to make representation at the co-head meeting, at the head meeting to make a supplication or appendix or something to the discussion about food security, rather than they talk about importing from countries that are heavily subsidized.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It pains me to listen to a fellow farmer talk like that. It pains me because I can remember in 2011 when they bulldozed almost 500 acres of land bearing production in 2011 to put houses.
Yes.
In Trinidad, So when fellow farmers talk like that, it really pains me, brother. Really feel it.
Yes, it is. It really. Let me try and get back our two colleagues here. We lost Mr. Bertrand and we also lost Mr. Adams.
What about Mr. James?
Yes, let me try and get them back. We are on food security and we are talking about what must be done to.
And one of the other important things that we have to try to think about with the working of the unity is that we must be able, like if we want to be a developed country, a developed Caribbean section, we need to have some sort of protection in terms of insurance, because the businessmen, the SMEs and so on, who produce with a small factory and production schedules and with equipment, they are insured, right? They are insured. So what happened to us? Why people can't see it as an equal opportunity to insure the farmers? Of course, insurance agents are one of the people who can lobby the government because they have money power.
Yes.
That certain systems are put in place to protect the farmer in terms of identity. Just as how the people with the buildings who get flooded and they are insured and the roofs are blown out and the equipment get soaked and they need to replace. When the refrigerator replaced or the stove or the microwave and the thing that in your house, the T&Tech replaces it, what happened to the farmer? Why can't we enjoy that sort of service when there's a hurricane or a flood or anything like that? It's because of our lack of unity to get together and force the agenda of policy to be changed in our favor.
Yes. In Trinidad, Mr. Khan, the sugar is produced in Trinidad still?
No, when we shut down the sugar industry in 2003, and the next year after that, sugar prices went sky high.
Yes.
We shut down a sugar industry in this country that was, yes, it has some management problem, but when the management problem is there, it's from on the top coming down, it had to be fixed. Not by shutting down an entire industry, sending home something like almost 60,000 workers and another 50,000 workers, which we call sideline, fence line supporter of the industry. And the year after, in 2004, sugar became king in the world. Yes. And we lost almost 100 acres of land that was under our cultivation arcade and equipment that was productive. So we closed down the sugar industry basically to get the land to build houses and industries.
Yes, yes.
And similar to we close down Petrotrin, and after Petrotrin, biggest foreign exchange owner in the country, 2018, we shut it down, close off the whole thing, and then all of a sudden gas prices went sky high, oil prices went sky high, and we now had a thriving petroleum industry. Close down Petrotrin and start to import fuel into the country. Some government make some decision that I feel a little schoolboy will tell them, hey, you're doing nonsense.
Yes, yes.
You know?
What about chicken? What about chicken? Trinidad produces one chicken. Are you relying on import?
We assemble our chicken in Trinidad. We locally assemble our chicken in Trinidad because in 1980, up to 1985, we exported hatching eggs out of Trinidad and produces our own chick. Right? We have stopped doing that, and now we importing the eggs and hatching it. In some cases, we import chicks, we import the feed, we import the medication, we import everything. We just locally assemble our chicken in Trinidad.
Yes. Well, I tell you what, just I want you to just hold it there for me. We are going to take a break. Hold it for me, please.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes, we are on food security. Let us go for a break.
Everybody sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is holding up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So, come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky. Shine bright, Jamaica. Shine bright, Jamaica. Feel the rhythm, we're on track. Feel it, feel it. Together we rise, together we climb. JPS Jamaica, together we shine.
Shine from the ends, shine with your family, shine with your friends. Light up the streets and make the vibes blend. Yo, JPS and make the shine never end.
Property for sale in Oak Bay, Portland, known as Hermitage Farm, located on the main road east of Oak Bay Police Station and west of Somerset Falls. Property size is 74 acres and includes a house with 5 bedrooms, 4,971 square feet, with water storage and a 3.5 acre coastal pond. Asking price US $2 million. For further information, kindly contact Kenneth Tomlinson, receiver, trustee, care of Business Recovery Services Limited, 11 Connolly Avenue, Kingston 4. Telephone number 876-948-001225. So that's 876-948-001225.
Now, hear this.
I remember the times when we used to sit in the park, holding hands together. I never should have gone away and left you like I did, girl. I thought you'd take me back, but I was just a little bit late. I was born a winner. I know I am. Yes, I am. Whoa, yeah. My lonely days and my lonely nights, girl. On the outside looking in, dreaming of holding you tight. Well, I guess I've had my day. You let me go my way. It's me who has to pay. A loser they call me, but now I'm a winner. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I was born a winner. I know I am. Yes, I am. Whoa, yeah. I was born a winner. Oh, now, yeah. You don't have to tell me 'cause I know.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. We are on food security, and we have with us Trinidadian farmer, Mr. Khan, with us. Yes, so Mr. Khan, as you were saying before, we have lost our other two participants. I don't know, there seems to be a phone issue. I'm not getting through to them at all. But as you were saying that unity is a key factor that we need as farmers in the Caribbean, because the issues the farmers are facing serious challenges, as you say. So in Trinidad now, what are the farmers in Trinidad? What are the main? I know you are in the poultry business. What about the cattle industry? Oh,
well, we have a striving poultry business.
Yes.
As I tell you, it's more similar to some of the other Caribbean countries that we import the eggs out of the US. We import all the grains out of the US, and in some cases from Holland and Netherlands and so on. And Ukraine, because a lot of the wheat used to come from Ukraine. The production has dropped tremendously. We take it from the US now. Pigs is a big thing here. We have a couple large mega farms in pork production. So that is all right. Our vegetables, our local vegetables and root crop production is a thriving business. We sheep and goat tend to suffer because lastly is a major problem for sheep and goat and cattle, because our cattle industry was hit hard way back in the 1980s, because up to 2000 we were producing something like 16 million liters of milk a day. I'm sorry, a year. 16 million liters of milk a year. And right now we're down to just about a million liters per year. Right?
Yes.
Because what happened is that because when globalization took place in the 80s, it was cheaper for Nestle, which is the largest, the oldest purchaser of our farmers' milk, right? They found it important to shut down 12 out of the 14 milk depots we had in the country, all over the country. So they shut down 12 collection stations and only kept two going. Only kept two going in the two major areas. So those small producers, which was critical to keeping the figures up, they were out of the system when that take place. Now the Ministry of Agriculture and the Cattle Farmers Association went in an agreement where they pay our people to leave the deep south to come to Carson Field to sell the milk from the farmers down there. And then we pay in an eastern area they call Ture, right? Some people pronounce it Turu. We pronounce it Ture. That the Cattle Farmers Association were running a depot in Ture and in Warren. Now, what happened is that because of the continuous small low price that Nestle was paying the farmers, we had a further fall out of farmers out of the system because it was not viable enough for some people to continue production as a sideline anymore, and those small depots and then eventually fall off. So because of the importation way back in the 90s, caused a lot of farmers to go out. Now the major milk collection company is pushing and fighting to get everybody to sell milk again. But when you didn't want to listen and you depended on cheap importation, that is when you throw away all those small farmers. And especially Mr. Desmond, after COVID, when the world was shocked with a lot of farms being closed down in Europe and in the US, right? Because the COVID, when the farmers got COVID, they end up killing out all the animals and so on. And then in the early 2011, 2012, 2013, we had serious climate change affecting production, where in some countries, tens of thousands of cows was lost due to the heat wave. I don't know if you can remember that.
Yes.
I don't know if you can remember that. So all of that compounded to the fact that is one of the reasons why we need at this point in time to get a lot of support from the state. A lot of the support from the state.
Yes. So in other words, the Trinidad is importing milk now, because the farmers, what the farmers are producing cannot meet the demand.
Of course not.
Yes.
If you move.
Then what about the meat, the beef?
We always because from way back we never paid attention to those aspects of the beef production. But remember, when you were producing milk at 20 million, 40 million liters per year, and you down to 1 million, you realize that the amount of cows you lost, because most of the milk from those animals was thrown into a fattening system,
yes,
where you would have been converting those animals into beef. So you lose a large quantity of milking cows and females, so thereby your beef industry will suffer. And it is an old colonial trick that was used on farmers, especially poor farmers, to get rid of them so that the importation could continue. Now we're having a problem where you cannot import, and then what happening is that because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, the grain's not coming now. You now looking to think about how you could secure yourself. But you're still importing some serious commodities that will affect us down the road. And not only that, you have an aging farming population that don't want to get into modern techniques, because in our country the average age of a farmer right now is 70 plus. How could you tell this man, and then you don't have land tenure to gain access to funding to re-energize and revigorize your farm, so that even your children or grandchildren could come in and change your farm into a modern day farm using greenhouse technique, more lateral production rather than horizontal production. You understand?
Yes.
What is called cheat-tier farming and all of that. We're not doing that, because when a child see his grandfather toil without any kind of success, and then they come on to the parents toil without a success, that guy not going into farming, because he say, Daddy work, Papa work hard, and look, we still struggling. So he may take the land, especially if it's a private piece of land, and convert it into a warehouse and take a loan and buy cars and things from the land and sell over, or put up a grocery or supermarket or some other business. So you have this situation taking place. So you have a rather rapid deterioration of genuine farmers into the country. And unless and I'll use back the word again, unless agriculture is not sexy and attractive, you would not get young people coming in to do it. And hence the reason why you have so much of crime in the Caribbean, because we're not making use of all the young people that is coming out of school and get them into something, because agriculture, remember, agriculture is one of the sectors that could really, not too much of mechanization, because the land space to mechanize is not economically viable. But what we can do is use a lot of labor into the production of fruits and vegetables, crops and so on.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Which way back, I don't know if you have something like a CPEP in your country or other people have in their country. CPEP is where we have these make work programs that people just get a European CPEP, where in Europe they get 10 days, and they work 10 days and they go on next cycle, and probably next month they come back into 10 days, where CPEP is basically about cleaning the roadside and cutting the grass and maintaining the roadway and so on. We have come up with a program where those same workers.
One of the thing, Mr. Khan, as we pointed out during our previous discussion, that the issues facing the farmers in Trinidad are the similar issues facing farmers in
Throughout the
Jamaica.
Caribbean.
And
And not only Jamaica, throughout the Caribbean.
throughout the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
That is the problem, you know, because everything, and that is why it is so important for the farmers, just like the merchants. It is important for the farmers to get together so that they can press their case as one body.
Yes.
Yes, because
I quite agree.
Yes, because as you point out, unless we do that, then the future for agriculture in the Caribbean looks very dim. Yes, and
yeah, but why it is dim is because we will rather take in Trinidad. I could only use Trinidad as an example. We will take $6 billion and invest it into health. We rather build hospitals and buy drugs and give people drugs as food, right? But we would not take another million from that, and in Trinidad we invest only 1 million for the last 10 years and less than 1 million into agriculture production. But food is what get people, lack of good quality food is what get most people sick. Because if you don't eat right, you must get sick. If you don't eat the right type of food, you're going to get sick. If you eat an imported meat that is discarded as pet food in one country, and some smarty businessman buy that for pennies and coming back here and selling it for dollars, right? And don't care if the people get sick or not, then you will be spending a lot of state resources on those people who are ill.
Yes, sir.
Rather than having a healthy citizen, and you invest more money into food production, healthy food production, we put the necessary infrastructure in place of not using the chemicals that are banned in Europe and they're dumping it into the Caribbean, right? We got to be brave. We got to have leaders to stand up against that. We have to have leaders to say, look, this is not safe in your country. It is banned in your country. Why it is that we are allowing it to come into the Caribbean?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
You understand?
You are perfect.
Why is the Caribbean a dumping ground for refused products in the North American, European market, and is dumped into the Caribbean? Why are we allowing these things to happen? And I will tell you, and I'll keep repeating it. Is more than 25 years ago, Dr. Patrick Antoine from Grenada have been talking about the Anti-Dumping Act need to be revised and stick to it in the Caribbean. Dr. Patrick Antoine, since I'm a little boy, I'm hearing him talk about that, right? About that act, because he was part of the Caribbean Caribbean Regional Negotiating Machinery on behalf of us at WTO. So why it is you have a Caribbean Regional Negotiating Machinery, but you don't have a Caribbean farmers working together to advise these people where to go?
Yes. Well, it is as I said, it is going to require us to take some action to ensure that we protect and develop our agricultural sector. We must do that. The question about import. Well, let me ask you this question about what is the import bill for food in Trinidad? How much money is spent annually importing
our
food?
food import bill right now is over $8 billion.
Yes.
8 billion.
And that is US. We're talking about US dollars.
No, this one is 8 billion TT dollars.
Okay.
The food bill, the importation bill of the Caribbean is between 7.5 to 8 billion US dollars.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? In the Caribbean,
Yes.
right? Now, we import a lot. In Trinidad, they import a lot and keep it into the bonded warehouse and send it out through the Caribbean because Trinidad is a transshipment for importation, right?
Yes.
Especially food products, right? Now, what I'm saying is that if it is that we could negotiate by getting together and first of all being part of the quartet committee, being part of the different committees where the regional heads meet, the regional heads of trade, the regional heads of agriculture, where we can get some seriousness done about what it is taking place in the Caribbean. Our Caribbean people is very innovative and have a lot of ideas of where we could go, but the politicians is the one that does not seem to make it, that important that we are contributing to the Caribbean.
Yes.
And when the mania hits the fan, they say that the farmers are not producing. But if you cannot give the tools to the farmers to improve the production, improve the conditions of production, right? How do you expect the farmer to improve? How do you expect the farmer to go forward? Take, for instance, our friend in Jamaica, where the hurricane destroyed all that he has. Why it is that he cannot get the help, like the man with the factory who got roof blown off and whose house was blown off? Is it that his pawpaw fields and cornfields are not important as somebody else's roof? Right? Is it that because he alone making money? What about the country that eating all that 25 acres of pawpaw?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Pawpaw is one of the major health food that you've seen on the internet and all the health websites talking about consuming, right? And he said there's a lot of them, but he only lost 25. How much more was lost? How much Jamaica went and import pawpaw because that happened rather than assist the farmer, because the farmer said that up to now nobody in talk to he except some fertilizer from the banana company, right? This is how we treat our own people, Mr. Desmond. Is this not how we show the love that Bob Marley sing about? And all the other messengers throughout the Caribbean, our Calypsonians, Sparrow, Black Stallion, all of these people in the Caribbean that sang about these things and make it into music that we could educate ourselves. Bob Marley more so, So when do we care about our own? When do we put our own Caribbean people, right, on the burner?
Yes, sir. Those are the issues that we have to look at. We must look at those issues because if we are going to go forward, then we must pay attention to those issues. And and what Mr. Khan, what we have to do, as starting with a small group, is that we have to do whatever we can to sensitize our farmers, because I don't think enough of our farmers are sensitized towards these issues so that they understand what they must do in order to make life better for themselves. Right?
Well, one of the things I wish, God willing, inshallah, according to my way of my way in life, is that I wish that other people on radio stations like you throughout the Caribbean would keep this thing going. I don't know if you could mitigate with some of your colleagues throughout the Caribbean and talk to them. I could talk to one or two people here and hear how they could think about it.
Yes.
Right? But if this is the medium where I in Trinidad and my voice could be heard in Jamaica, I am willing to give out my email address to people from Jamaica who have ideas, they will call me and tell me, you know, or you know, and then kind of thing, or call you on the station and get my number and let's talk. Because the only way we can't talk about Jamaica. We can't be talking about chicken curry kind of thing nonsense because we were starved, right? Africa is starting to see about Africa, right? India is seen about India. China is seen about China in terms of food, right? Because remember, for the past 2 years, India has not exported any wheat or rice coming out of India. They're keeping it for their own people, right?
Yes.
Right? That's now nothing would come from Africa because it will start to be traded within the African continent. What do we do down in the Caribbean? Right? What do we do? Can't we take a page out of Comrade Ibrahim Traore? Can we take a page out of Guyana? Right? President Ufan, where he concentrated on agriculture, of how to produce, but let us all work together and see how we can fix the Caribbean. Many of us would dream the day when that could really happen. I hope it happens in my time, but if not, probably sooner than later, that people could really get together. Not as businessmen, not as processors, not as producers alone, but as farmers who are producing and have been feeding the Caribbean for a number of years and never one day got the respect that we deserve. Right?
Yes.
Because we feed in the country all the time, but nobody respect that. They respect the politicians who make promises and never keep them. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, that is
so we got to look at, and let me thank you again. Huh? Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to be on your station.
Yes.
And share my views. I hope that I didn't hurt anybody or disrespect anybody. If I did, I apologize. But I am simply talking straight from my heart what is happening and where we have to go.
Okay, Mr. Khan. Let me thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you again for having me, and God bless.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. And as we like to say, we usually say, to be continued. Thank you, Mr. Khan. That was Mr. Shiraz Khan. Yes, farmer, Trinidadian farmer there on food security. Yes, we had Mr. Demar Adams and Mr. Bertrand John, but we lost them at some telephone issues. Okay, that is food security for this week. Let us take a break.
Everybody sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, hardware and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica, rise, we're built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all, there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're rich in kind, so energy that lights the sky. Shine bright, Jamaica. Shine bright, Jamaica. Feel the rhythm, we're on track. Feel it, feel it. Together we rise, together we climb. JBS Jamaica.
your friends. Light up the streets and make the vibes blend. Yo, JPS and make the shine never end.
Property for sale in Oak Bay, Portland, known as Hermitage Farm, located on the main road east of Oak Bay Police Station and west of Somerset Falls. Property size is 74 acres and includes a house with 5 bedrooms, 4,971 square feet, with water storage and a 3.5 acre coastal pond. Asking price US $2 million. For further information, kindly contact Kenneth Tomlinson, receiver, trustee, care of Business Recovery Services Limited, 11 Connolly Avenue, Kingston 4. Telephone number 876-948-001225. So that's 876-948-001225.
Imagine a world where information is power, where news meets insight. This is Eyes on the World, your personal lens. We are watching with you. Stay informed, stay curious, get the world's stories reported to you. Eyes on the World, your perspective.
Yes, it's time for Eyes on the World. Yes, and as you know, this is where we look at what is happening around us in this big community where we are living. And we are going to start this evening's show by showing you some of the developments in Burkina Faso. Yes, let us look at some videos of what President Traore is doing over there.
Breaking news. Trump has just authorized one of the fastest military deployments in modern history. Thousands of U.S. troops are now being rushed to critical bases across the Middle East. Qatar, Bahrain, and Iran. Satellite intel.
Well, clearly they're not ready to, as the Iranian parliament has voted to close the Straits of Hormuz, and this is a big deal, because 20% of the world's oil flows through that strait. And this is how wars begin, with brutal escalations.
At least there's something, right? Guys, this is Orlando.
In a move that felt like thunder rolling through Washington.
Look at this.
The U.S. Supreme Court just delivered a suggested wake-up call to former President Donald Trump after years of acting like he was above the law.
This is scary.
This front finally hit a wall.
This is actually very scary.
The Supreme Court.
This is Florida.
Slapped sweeping tariffs on foreign goods like he was king of the economy. Didn't even bother to consult the law fully before making decisions that rocked businesses across the nation.
Look at this.
One small toy company, Learning Resources, had the guts to take him to court, and they won.
Burkina Faso has just shocked the world. A brand new phone company created in the heart of Africa has now become the top-selling phone brand worldwide in just a short time. Yes, you heard that right. The phones are made using strong materials, long battery life, and most importantly, they're affordable for everyone. People from Europe, Asia, America, and all over Africa are now rushing to buy these phones. The demand is so high, even big tech giants like Apple, Samsung, Huawei, and Nokia are now asking to collaborate with the Burkina Faso company. This has never happened before. One country in West Africa is now leading the world in mobile technology. Experts are calling it the African Tech Revolution. Even more surprising, The company says they will not sell out or give away their ideas. They say the goal is to create jobs and make life better for Africans, not just profits. Many young Africans are now proud and inspired. People are calling it a big win for Africa and a new chapter in tech history. Follow Pan Africa Television for more real news that shows the power and greatness of our continent. Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traoré, has done what no one expected. He has officially built the biggest water canal in the world, and he did it without a single coin from the West. No loans, no donations, no foreign aid. This massive canal runs across several regions of Burkina Faso, bringing clean water to farmlands that were once dry and dead. The purpose? Irrigation. To help farmers grow crops all year round, feed the people, and build a self-reliant nation. Experts from around the world are shocked. Many say even rich countries have never attempted such a huge project without outside support. But Traoré says, "We don't need handouts. We need freedom, land and water to feed ourselves." And that's exactly what he's doing. Now thousands of farmers who once gave up hope are back on their land, planting, harvesting and smiling again. The world is watching. Western leaders are silent. But Africans everywhere are clapping, saying this is what real leadership looks like. Traoré is changing the face of Africa, one project at a time. For more updates like this, follow Pan Africa Television, where we bring you real African news. Burkina Faso has done it again. This morning, the world is in shock as President Ibrahim Traoré announced the launch of completely free schools for the less privileged and struggling families across the country. Yes, you heard that right. Free education from primary school to university. No registration fees. No hidden charges. Not even a coin from the parents. Everything from school uniforms, books to meals will be paid for by the government of Ibrahim Traoré. And his reason? A country must empower every citizen. Whether you have money or not, you deserve education. This bold statement has moved the hearts of many. In villages and cities, poor parents broke down in tears. Some said they had given up on ever sending their children to school. But now they are full of hope. Children who once sold fruits in the streets will now sit in classrooms and dream again. Traoré's plan is clear. No Burkinabe child will be left behind. The schools are already under construction, and the first intake is expected to begin very soon. While the West stays silent, Africa is clapping. Burkina Faso is rising. And Traoré is leading a revolution, not with guns, but with books. For more emotional and powerful stories like this, follow Pan Africa Television, where we tell African stories the African way.
Yes, there you have it. You saw what President Traoré is doing in Burkina Faso. Yes, Africa is on the right road, and we see that a revolution is being created, and we must support it. Yes. Let us see what is happening in the Middle East. Now you know that that area has been tense for past couple of weeks. Let us look at what has been happening there. For example, we know that the people in Gaza continue to suffer bombings and killings. Let us see what is happening over there.
The U.S. Supreme Court finally stood up to Trump and gave him a serious slap right on the face and told him, enough is enough. And said, Mr. Trump, you are just a president, and you are not above the law, and if you don't respect the law again, you will face its consequences. This is the last warning. You won't believe what the Supreme Court just did to Trump. In this video, I will break it down for you. Before I start, touch the plus sign on our profile picture and give us your opinions in the comments section. In a move that felt like thunder rolling through Washington, the U.S. Supreme Court just delivered a brutal wake-up call to former President Donald Trump. After years of acting like he was above the law, Trump finally hit a wall he couldn't bulldoze: the Supreme Court. Trump, who slapped sweeping tariffs on foreign goods like he was king of the economy, didn't even bother to consult the law fully before making decisions that rocked businesses across the nation. One small toy company, Learning Resources, had the guts to take him to court, and they won. But Trump, in classic fashion, tried to skip legal steps, thinking he could rush the system. Well, the Supreme Court wasn't having it. On Friday, they refused to fast-track Trump's case, essentially saying, "Slow down, Mr. Trump. This is not your personal playground." But it didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, whispers turned into roars. The court is reportedly furious. Sources say justices are fed up with Trump treating emergency laws like his toolkit. And they're making it clear, if he keeps walking this dangerous path, they will bring the full weight of the law down on him. They've drawn the line. The message is loud and clear. Enough is enough. Trump's reckless run may have just met its final stop.
Breaking news right now. It has confirmed that Iran has begun its retaliation against the United States, firing at least 6 ballistic missiles at a United States military base located in Qatar. This is a very significant development. The missiles are likely scheduled to strike this military base in a matter of minutes because of how close Iran is to Qatar. The airspace over Qatar has been closed. Donald Trump has convened his national security team, likely in the Situation Room right now, to discuss possible retaliation against Iran, whether or not the United States will strike back. Earlier reporting suggested that Donald Trump's response to any Iranian strike on a U.S. military base, for example, this one in Qatar, will depend on whether or not any American civilian is injured and or killed. We will see what happens. We don't know the impacts, but the missiles have been launched. Iran has officially launched, retaliated, and attacked the United States. Spread the word. We will have minute-by-minute updates for you, so follow us to support and follow us.
Breaking news, Iran has responded to the U.S. strikes with a major escalation. Now, last night, the United States bombed Iranian nuclear sites, and Donald Trump did so hoping that this would be one and done, that he'll do this and Iran will surrender. Well, clearly they're not ready to, as the Iranian parliament has voted to close the Straits of Hormuz, and this is a big deal because 20% of the world's oil flows through that strait. And this is how wars begin, with little escalations like this. Well, this is a major one. Now, the U.S. can respond and they can use their military to reopen the strait, and then Iran will escalate in another way. And back and forth we go, and we are in war. Now, Donald Trump told us we wouldn't be in war, and I don't think he wanted to. But I believe when he put that 2-week timeline and everybody called him out for it, he got embarrassed. And he felt like he had to show the world that he was a big boy. And he's going to follow through on this. And here we are. And this is exactly what Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris warned us of, that Donald Trump could be influenced by tweets.
They called us up and they said, listen, we have no choice. We have to hit you because we have our own self-respect. They told us that don't be concerned. We're going to launch 18 missiles at your military base, but none of them will hit the base. These are very accurate missiles. These are missiles that essentially never miss. They're very reliable, very accurate.
Guys, I'm here in Florida, and when in the world have you seen the Orlando airport this dead? There is not a single soul in here. Guys, this is kind of scary. Guys, this is one of the most populated airports in all of the world. Like, in all of the world. Like, this is, I think I'm by myself in here, guys. This is weird. Like, there's not a single soul. Like, airports are 24/7 in a sense, right? Or at least there's somebody, right? Guys, this is Orlando. And you, obviously you know that if you've been here before. Look at this. Guys, oh my gosh. Not a single soul. This is scary. This is actually very scary. Guys, this is Florida for you. I've never been... Look at this. Oh my God, Starbucks? There's nobody here? Guys, look at the tram. Tram, there's not a single soul. Look at this. Guys, that's where you get the...
Breaking news, Iran has responded to the U.S. strikes with a major escalation. Now, last night, the United States bombed Iranian nuclear sites, and Donald Trump did so hoping that this would be one and done, that he'll do this and Iran will surrender. Well, clearly they're not ready to, as the Iranian parliament has voted to close the Straits of Hormuz, and this is a big deal because 20% of the world's oil flows through that strait. And this is how wars begin, with little escalations like this. Well, this is a major one. Now, the U.S. can respond and they can use their military to reopen the strait, and then Iran will escalate in another way. And back and forth we go, and we are in war. Now, Donald Trump told us we wouldn't be in war, and I don't think he wanted to. But I believe when he put that 2-week timeline and everybody called him out for it, he got embarrassed. And he felt like he had to show the world that he was a big boy. And he's going to follow through on this. And here we are. And this is exactly what Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris warned us of, that Donald Trump could be influenced by tweets.
They called us up and they said, listen, we have no choice. We have to hit you because we have our own self-respect. They told us that don't be concerned. We're going to launch 18 missiles at your military base, but none of them will hit the base. These are very accurate missiles. These are missiles that essentially never miss. They're very reliable, very accurate.
Guys, I'm here in Florida, and when in the world have you seen the Orlando airport this dead? There is not a single soul in here. Guys, this is kind of scary. Guys, this is one of the most populated airports in all of the world. Like, in all of the world. Like, this is... I think I'm by myself in here, guys. This is weird. Like, there's not a single soul. Like, airports are 24/7 in a sense, right? Or at least there's somebody, right? Guys, this is Orlando. And you, obviously you know that if you've been here before. Look at this. Guys. Oh my gosh. Not a single soul. This is scary. This is actually very scary. Guys, this is Florida for you. I've never been... Look at this. Oh my God, Starbucks? There's nobody here? Guys, look at the tram. Tram, there's not a single soul. Look at this. Guys, that's where you get the...
Russia just revealed that the U.S. bombing of Iran completely backfired, and now everything is worse. A few hours ago, former Russian president and deputy chair of its Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, said the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites failed to achieve anything. According to his estimation, the nuclear facilities were unaffected or sustained only minor damage, and Iran is already back to enriching uranium for weapons. But here's the terrifying part. He's claiming that multiple countries are now ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. Think about that. Instead of stopping Iran's nuclear program, the U.S. attacks might have just fast-tracked Iran getting actual nuclear weapons from other countries. Even worse, Iran's foreign minister is now flying to Moscow to meet with Putin directly. So instead of weakening Iran, the U.S. just pushed them straight into Russia's arms. This situation is developing rapidly, and it's getting more dangerous by the hour. Follow for more live updates.
اگر اروپا و کشورهای مهم مثل روسیه و چین این خلأ بین المللی را پر کنند شاید راهی برای ادامه مسیر باشد. در غیر این صورت جمهوری اسلامی با اقدامات هسته‌ای خود ایشان را سر عقل می آورد. و این را بدانند که در چنین شرایطی و این را بدانند که در چنین شرایطی ایران هیچ تعهدی ندارد که در جایگاه گذشته خود در مسئله هسته‌ای قرار بگیرد.
Breaking news. Trump has just authorized one of the fastest military deployments in modern history. Thousands of U.S. troops are now being rushed to critical bases across the Middle East, Qatar, Bahrain, and Iraq. Satellite intel confirms that advanced systems, including Patriot missile launchers and F-22 stealth fighters, are already being positioned. Why now? Because Iran just crossed a dangerous red line. After pulling out of nuclear talks, Tehran issued a direct threat to strike every U.S. base within reach. They didn't hide it. They named the locations loud and clear. And behind the curtain, things get even more serious. China has reportedly delivered a shipment of strategic weapons to Iran. What's inside remains unknown, but the impact is crystal clear. Israel has raised its alert level to the highest in over a decade. U.S. bases have gone from standby to full defensive posture overnight. But here's what no one is saying out loud. This might not just be a response.
Yes, well, there you have it. One of the things that is happening now is that we observe that there has been let us say, the bombings, the exchange of missiles between Iran and Israel, that has stopped. Yes, which is very good. We are waiting to see if this is going to last, right? So while that has stopped, the killings and brutality against the Palestinian people continues. Yes. We observe that the people of Palestine still without food, medication, and, you know, as I said, they are being killed day and night. One of the things that we know that in the Caribbean against apartheid in Palestine, that movement, we know that they filed a lawsuit, yes, last week against Israel. That lawsuit, I think, is due to go to court, due to be heard in the court next month. But let us talk to the Barbadian member of that committee, Lulu Anamon, who is the lawyer who filed that lawsuit last week. Let us try and get him on the line to find out exactly what is happening with that. We sincerely hope that this matter, will help to put some pressure on our Caribbean leaders for them to sever relations with Israel. Yes, that is what we are hoping for. Hello, Mr. Hilton.
Hello, God.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. Yes, this is Mr. Michael Hilton from the Patterson's Institute and this is based at the university. Mr. Hilton, good afternoon to you, sir, and welcome to Rebel Radio.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Yes. Mr. Hilton, one of the things that we have been observing in the past couple of months is what is happening in Burkina Faso, where the president there seems to be creating a revolution. He has been on he has initiated a series of programs aimed at lifting the lives of the African people and, putting them on a track where they can control their resources. What do you make of it so far?
Well, the Institute nor the university has a position on the particular situation happening in Burkina Faso.
Yes.
Because it's a very tense situation. Yes, we understand that something that we all strive for. But the way in which it happens is also very much important. So I'm not at liberty to comment on that at this present moment in time.
Yes.
But certainly we are watching, and we're observing the goings on there.
Yes. Now, as it relates to, the relationship between countries, the lesser developed countries,
Yes.
When you look at what is happening now from as far as economic cooperation is concerned, what do you think the countries, in the lesser developed world, what do you think they should be doing?
Sorry, I never got the last part. Could you repeat,
I'm
please?
asking, as it relates to economic development between countries in the lesser developed world, what do you think we should be looking at this time, or how should we be moving together? What must be done?
There are several things happening at this present moment in time. In fact, the currencies that are performing the best in the global market are actually so-called lesser developed countries, developing countries, outperforming European and North American currencies, even the US dollar, mind you. But there's one particular thing we need to look out for, and that's happening on the 6th of July, where the BRICS nations will meet to discuss how best they can circumvent the United States currency in global trade. And this and bear in mind that the BRIC countries comprise about 1/3 of the global trade and commerce. So that's something that we should look out for. But as it relates to South-to-South cooperation and the further integration of capital markets and trade, there's much more that can be done. There are issues, primarily as it relates to access to raw materials, as it relates to access to global markets. When I say global markets, I really mean Western markets. So those are things that we need to work on, even within the Caribbean. We have CARICOM and the CSME that are not particularly advancing trade in the way that it should or it could. There are still barriers that we could remove in order to actualize real, meaningful growth and prosperity for lesser developed countries.
Yeah. Well, as you touch about us in the Caribbean is that we in CARICOM, when you look at us, we are a small group of people, but I believe that as CARICOM, as Caribbean people, that we should be looking at ways how we could work together and strengthen ourselves, that we can take advantage of opportunities in the wider community. I don't think we are doing that at all. We are still, pursuing our individual interests. I don't know if the institute is trying to work on that.
Well, that is a mandate of the Institute for Africa Caribbean Advocacy. We have engaged in discussions with Afrexim Bank as an institution in ways on how to better strengthen capacity amongst Caribbean